Hello everybody, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tess and I am a licensed esthetician here on YouTube. In today's video, I want to talk all about microcurrent, why I love it, and how you can use it in your day-to-day routine. So excited to announce I'm partnering with Skin Store. This video is sponsored by them and they were so gracious. They allowed me to pick one thing out of the thousands of incredible professional grade products on their site, and I decided on one I've had my eye on for a while. It is the NuFace The Fix, and I'm in love with it. It's this tiny mascara sized microcurrent device, so I'm gonna show you guys how I use it. This is actually going to be really my first time using the device. I have watched tutorials on the site, so I'm gonna do my best and sort of show you a first impressions. I already know I'm gonna love it. I love I believe this is the NuFace Mini. I love everything about it and I use it in my morning routine to sculpt and lift. The only thing I've always wanted out of it was the ability to get in a little bit smaller crevices, such as my nasal labial folds, around my eye, around my lip. This is more suited to just covering more ground and covering larger areas of face, but together it is a dream team. So I will leave the link and the code for this device in the description box. You can get 25% off the NuFace Fix with my code, which is just Tess. And I believe for the most part, you can use the code for anything on their site. I think there are some exclusions, but go ahead and check their site out. There may be some products on there you already buy, so go ahead and get 25% off with my code. But I cannot wait to try this out and show you guys how I use it in my routine. Quick announcement before we get into the video, my TikTok handle and my Instagram handle have changed. So if you have yet to follow me, it is my Esthetessa, clean and simple. I would love for you to join me on social. And without further ado, let's get into this video on microcurrent. Okay, let's put the hair up. I'm gonna be talking you guys through how I incorporate the tool into my routine. So I'll walk you guys through how I incorporate the device into my routine. I always start with a cleanse. I am a big advocate of the morning cleanse. I feel like it has fallen by the wayside and almost got trendier for people to not do a morning cleanse. And so many people I talk to, I'm so surprised that they skip it all together in the morning and just rely on their nighttime cleanse. If this works for you, fantastic. I find with my clients, skipping the morning cleanse can lead to some different issues, whether it is a little bit more of congestion and clogged pores, to not seeing the results they want because they're not applying their active ingredients on clean skin in the morning. So things like vitamin C, you want to make sure the skin is cleansed and toned so it can penetrate to the best of its ability. Vitamin C can be expensive, so make sure you get your money's worth. Another important point is that we accumulate so much dirt, debris, oil on the skin while we sleep. That is our skin's renewal process, and it is detoxing, excreting different substances. So I really advocate for the morning cleanse, eliminate all of that debris. The key is choosing something that is gentle for your skin. So if you're saying, I can't cleanse in the morning, my skin gets too dry and tight, think about the cleanser you're using. Maybe you can opt for something super gentle and hydrating, perhaps a cream cleanser, and that will allow you to cleanse the skin without stripping it. You should have no problem cleansing the skin at least twice a day without feeling like the skin is super dry or tight. If you do, it could be a sign that your barrier is compromised or you are using products that are unsuitable for your skin. So I cleanse in the morning. Often I'll use a little Foreo device. Sometimes I'll skip it and do it in the evenings. Then I always make sure to tone my skin. This is a brand new little cotton round that is reusable from Dermaplus. So nice and eco-friendly. You just toss it in the wash. This is my Dermaplus Hydrating Toner, and it has aloe and hyaluronic acid to bind moisture to the skin throughout the day. Very important for increased product penetration and to make sure that your pH is balanced before you go in with the rest of your routine. pH is something I talk about a lot, but it is so underrated. I always recommend looking for pH balanced products and using a toner to make sure things are balanced before you apply any other products or do any extra steps in your routine. So that is my prep for the NuFace. I make sure the skin is clean, and then I use a little bit of toner just to make sure my skin doesn't feel too dry while I am using the NuFace, but it's not a product that is going to get in the way of the microcurrent. Okay, now for the fun part. I am a big advocate of microcurrent, and I know Botox is something that is super popular these days. I get a little bit of Botox. There's no shame in it, but however, one of the cons of Botox is over time, it can cause muscle atrophy, and I think people start to notice a little bit of drooping, and that's because their muscles aren't stimulated, they're not working as often, so it can lead to a little bit of loss of tone, especially if you are really overdoing it with the Botox. Botox has, a great effect on the skin in that it paralyzes that muscle, so you can't produce, wrinkles over time from that repetitive motion of expression lines. However, we still really want to keep the skin muscles strong. That is where massage and microcurrent comes into somebody's routine. The key with microcurrent, when people ask what does it do, it really has to do with the muscle and stimulating that muscle tone. That will create a more contoured and lifted effect as opposed to more sagging and drooping, which just happens as we age. So microcurrent has some beautiful effects of smoothing, tightening, and brightening. So this device, essentially the benefits you're going to see are tighter, more lifted skin, possibly improved tone and clarity, and diminished signs of fine lines and wrinkles, because again, we are stimulating that muscle tone. I watched Tara Peterson's how-to video. She is sort of like an icon to me. I want to have her on the podcast so bad. I'm just so impressed with her. She is an esthetician and the founder of NuFace. So I would love to talk to her one day. I'm actually going to start here. So I watched her video and she applied a good amount of the gel serum and then sort of just worked in little feathering motions. I saw her doing a little bit of circular motions as well. Oh my gosh, I cannot imagine a facial with her because she is an esthetician and the CEO. But I bet her facials are amazing. This is so easy. I know people can get intimidated by microcurrent, and I think even the larger device is possibly a little bit more intimidating. I think it involves a little bit more technique. This, I feel anyone can do the feathering motions and the little circles. It is very intuitive, feels nice. It just feels like a gentle vibration, and the pen is sort of emitting a little slight hum, but it's very relaxing. And I believe this goes for 3 minutes and then, you're done. So it's very quick. I'm focusing on the tiny fine lines around my eyes, which, especially as a fair complexion person, I do age faster than, somebody with a darker skin tone. So my skin is very fragile, and the fine lines around my eyes honestly bother me a little bit. I just got an Instagram DM from somebody asking, how do I alleviate sort of like a dullness and a darkness around my eye? And the key is movement. We don't get much movement in this area, and I think people are nervous to work around the eye because they think it will cause wrinkles. by tugging on the skin. It won't, as long as you're gentle and you have some glide. It's very important to work around the under eye because we get so much stagnant blood flow there. And I'm now focusing on, this is sort of the area where a lot of people get their first Botox. It's sort of called the 11 right here. At least that was the first thing I did with Botox. So I'm working to stimulate that area again with this little circular feathering motion, and by lifting the brows up and sort of energizing this area, it is going to give a more youthful, sort of like just awake or surprised, but in a good way, where your eyes just look open, you look well rested and energized. Microcurrent works by using a positive and a negative current, so that's what's on the little balls. You want to make sure you have both on the skin, and sort of just focusing on this brow area. I read in the brochure you can also do like a little bit of a lift. This is also something I do with my gua sha stone. I work on lifting the brow up, but this is a little bit more effective because it does have that current. Microcurrent is something you'll notice an instant little boost, but the results will be greater with more continued use. If any Esties are listening out there who want to become more versed in microcurrent, I know Michele Phelan teaches a microcurrent class. I've actually taken it with her. It was years ago, but it was incredible. I didn't keep up with using the device. She uses 2 prongs, so there's a lot more to it and actually targeting certain points in the face. So this is like the simplified version of that and a great way to get the benefits without taking a whole course. But if anyone's interested, I'll leave the link to Michelle's site below. I always recommend her for outside esthetician courses because she's just the best, so knowledgeable, especially in microcurrent. I'm gonna try the device on my little, I call them the little marionette lines. They just become more pronounced as we age because, of course, we make expressions. I'm gonna try it as sort of like a natural, I would say like a natural lip flip. I'm gonna sort of just work on energizing this area and lifting it up a bit. Massage is a great way. Also, massage and microcurrent, if you are somebody who's bothered by these expression lines, focusing your treatment products, so serums and moisturizers, in this area with some massage will work wonders for you. I always watch Donna Omari do sort of like 2 fingertips lifting up and putting her head back. But again, this is a little bit easier and you don't have to, you know, learn a whole massage technique. So I'm a big fan of gadgets and tools like this that, you know, you can just have on your bathroom counter and you'll see it and you'll be more, at least I know for myself, I'm more inclined to use it if I see a device that's just efficient rather than, you know, have to do a massage routine on my own. Sometimes I don't know why that seems like so much to ask. So this is fantastic, especially if you have, you know, small expression lines that bother you, like these little expression lines for me bother me. So it's a great sort of targeted approach to microcurrent and, you know, more focused than the larger device. My skin is getting a little bit pink and that is normal. It tends to be sort of a sign of more reactive skin, not sensitive skin. It's just my skin reacts to pressure or massage. It's not a bad thing. It's just showing, you know, that the blood is circulating. I used to get so nervous in facials when I would do a peel or apply a product and somebody's face was getting pink or red. I would think I was like hurting them and their face was on fire. Of course, I checked in with them and usually they're fine. It's just, you know, a sign that their blood is flowing. Always check in with them and don't assume a client's having a bad reaction, but you know, good communication is key. I'm going to be using this device for the next couple of weeks, so please let me know in future videos if you think you notice something different about my skin. Okay, it turned off twice because I'm obviously talking. That was about 6 minutes of using this. It's so enjoyable and I know I'm really going to look forward to having this in my routine. The next thing I would do is apply my vitamin C serum. So especially after you have gotten the circulation flowing, the skin is really ready to receive product. So this is a great time after your NuFace treatment to incorporate a little bit of a serum. If you guys have sort of watched my morning routine videos, you probably know this is like my staple go-to. This I do not see changing in my routine for the foreseeable future. This is the Obagi 20% L-ascorbic acid professional C serum. It is a little bit on the pricier side, but it is a very clinically trialed serum and this is a force to be reckoned with. This is probably like one of the highest, most potent forms of vitamin C on the market. You're not going to see too much higher than a 20% L-ascorbic acid, and I don't know if I would even recommend anything stronger than that, especially for most people, beginners to vitamin C, acne prone people, people who are sensitive or sensitized. I would not go to this one right away. It's something you want to work your way up the ladder. Maybe start with a gentler form of vitamin C that is a non-acid based vitamin C. This is an acid and it's a high percentage, so other forms of vitamin C can work just as well. This is just a more intense delivery system, but I have a strong skin barrier. I use professional products. I have a good hydrating routine. My skin is okay with a good amount of stimulation, and vitamin C is a great pairing with retinol. So if you're using retinol and kind of wondering what can I do next, vitamin C is a great product to use, not at the same time, but to also have in your routine to really get the benefits out of retinol and vitamin C. They both work to support each other by strengthening the collagen. So vitamin C is a really wonderful anti-aging treatment. After my serum, I like to go in with my moisturizer, and this is the SkinCeuticals Daily Moisture. I'll show you guys sort of the finish of it on my hand since I already have a little bit on my face, but I'm still deciding how I feel about this moisturizer. It almost feels, I'll apply a little bit, it almost feels like it sits on the top of your skin when you first apply it. So gosh, sometimes I'll venture out of Dermaplus, which I unfortunately no longer work there, but I will use their products probably forever and I will recommend them to you guys forever. But I gotta say, I prefer the Dermaplus oil-free moisturizer for an acneic person and the normal moisturizer for somebody who needs more hydration. The SkinCeuticals is great, but it's pricey and I don't think I necessarily like it better at all. Like, I'll have no problem using it, but I don't know if it is my ride or die. It's a little bit disappointed, but it's still a great brand and they put a lot of clinical research behind their products. Next, as always, is SPF. You need your SPF every day. So even if you are staying home, apply your SPF. Just make it part of your morning routine. That way, if you're standing in front of a window or happen to step outside or are exposed to a lot of blue light, you will have good protection. This is my ride or die SPF. I feel I've tried almost every SPF that exists. Most of them broke me out. So this was a godsend to find. I know this is also on Skin Store. So again, you can use my code Tess for 25% off if you like this SPF. It is the Ulta MD UV Clear Broad Spectrum SPF 46. So wonderful, wonderful sunscreen. I would say it's more of a, not necessarily matte, but almost matte finish. So if you are extremely dry, you might want to try the tinted version. I feel is a little bit more glowy, but this one is great for anyone who's acne prone, oily, or normal skin type, or even sensitive skins can use this. It does have a gentle concentration of niacinamide to help with inflammation and pore size, but I absolutely love this SPF. Also a really good one if you are somebody who works out outside. I find that it does a great job of not allowing me to get excessively oily and having the product clog my pores. And then I wanted to say quickly, if you are not pairing vitamin C and SPF, it is a missed opportunity. Using these two together will really provide extra UV protection, and they complement each other so well in terms of protecting your skin from free radical damage and sun damage. Last, in my morning routine, I like to apply a little bit of this lip mask. It is by Tatcha. I'm obsessed. It is the most fun texture, sort of like a jelly, and it leaves a really pretty pink finish. It does have squalene in it, which is one of my favorite nourishing oils. So your lips will not be dry if you're using this lip balm. And I also like to use it in conjunction with a little bit of lip liner, my go-to little look for day or night. All right, guys, that is my morning routine and how I use microcurrent and why I absolutely love it. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I would love to answer them. As always, you can always shout out any suggestions for future videos in the comments. I look forward to reading them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you did like it, subscribe for more videos, and I will see you in the next one.